So to round off this last section, last but certainly not least, is John D Liu. John is a filmmaker, ecologist, and researcher. In 2015, John was named Visiting Fellow at the Netherlands Institute of Ecology of the Royal Netherlands Academy of Art and Sciences. John is also an ecosystem ambassador for the Common Land Foundation, and he founded in 2017 the Ecosystem Restoration Camps organization, a worldwide movement that aims to restore damaged ecosystems on a large scale, and something where I've been really inspired watching the ecosystem restoration camps and the Burning Man community start to get to know each other deeper. Thanks so much for being with us here this morning, John. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's Christopher, it's great to be here. Thanks to everybody who's working to make this possible. It's my pleasure and an honor to be able to talk with you. I'm going to share my my screen if I can see it. Yes, I can. And there. So that's a lovely introduction. Thank you very much. Here's my contact information. I'm going to share that once more later on. And I want to be I'm tell you how grateful I am to hear all the things which are being said. It's really music to my heart. I have been studying restoration for most of the last 30 years. And I was in China when the World Bank asked me to film a baseline study of the Loess Plateau rehabilitation. And you can see on the left what it looked like in 1995. And this is what they were able to accomplish in restoration. And what's interesting about this is the area that was restored was 35,000 square kilometers. So approximately the size of Belgium. What this ended up doing was I gave a speech in 2009 and became good friends with Willem Ferreira, who was then the head of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature in the Netherlands. And he created the Common Land Foundation. And I've been working with IUCN and Common Land since 2009. Common Land has over 2 million hectares now in privately invested restoration around the world. But what I noticed was that most of the work that was going on was with large landowners and with high wealth individuals. And this made me feel the need to assist billions of people around the world who do not have land and who have lost their human rights in many cases, and who do not have large amounts of money. So there's the Common Land Foundation URL. You can go see what they do on their website. And this got me engaged in creating the ecosystem restoration camps movement. This is the first article was in Permaculture magazine. You can find this at my academia page if you want to look at it. And it was basically that I was dreaming that people could live together in camps and restore the earth. But I rejected this for some time, thinking, well, who's going to do that? And, you know, I didn't feel that I had the power to ask people to do that or convince anyone to do it. But when I wrote about it, then hundreds, then thousands, and then tens of thousands of people started to want to participate in this. And this is the ecosystem restoration camps movement. So 4 years ago, we started to write about it. We created a foundation when 1,000 people offered to share 10 euros per month. And then since then, we built the first camp in Spain. And that's an interesting story because we didn't really tell people where it was going to be. We just sort of mentioned that it was going to be somewhere in Spain, in the Altiplano, near the border between Murcia and Andalusia. And when we said this, people started doing research, and they found the place and just went there on their own. So that was quite extraordinary. And the first camp in Spain was built by volunteers. Now, well over 400 people have been to this camp and studied there. And you can see the changes that they made in the topography for infiltrating and retaining moisture, and for revegetating the landscape. The second camp the next year was in collaboration with Via Organica, and they're in San Miguel de Allende in Mexico, and it is really a beautiful place, and that's been going. Now, in the next year, we ended up with camps in California, beginning in Camp Paradise, and thanks very much to the Permaculture Action Network for collaboration. We are excited by how much they have been able to do, and we see partnerships as certainly the way forward. We also now have we have 23 camps, and many more are being prepared. This is a festival-based camp in South Africa called Green Pop, which is a really great model. People do restoration, but at the same time, they're having a great deal of fun. There's a lot to learn in camps. You can learn how to make compost at small scales and large scales, and there's a lot of work with microbial, different indigenous microbial compounds and fungal research, and this is very important. This is we would like to have tremendous nurseries in each of the camps around the world. The camps now are in 6 continents around the world, so they're everywhere, and there will be many, many more. And these nurseries are something that need to be started so that they can help to provide the material that needs to be planted out in many of these camps. This is actually where I'm staying at the moment. I'm not there this minute because I've come to my sister's house to see my 101-year-old mother, who's staying with my sister. But I've been living for the last few weeks in California at Mount Shasta in the Camp Hotlum, which is doing fire prevention and response, and we'll be able to help to restore areas. This area has a tremendous tragedy in that the native population was killed, mainly killed. There were a few people who survived, but not very many. It was a terrible tragedy. And then this area has been clear cut massively. So there's a lot of work to restore these forests, and these forests are very important. A lot of the research I've been doing shows that the impact of forests in one place are also affecting the availability of moisture in other places. So this is not only causing desertification in this area, but it moves further inland because there's less evaporation, less respiration, and less condensation and less precipitation. These are some camp pictures from Spain. The people are really motivated. This is in Jordan. It's a beautiful place in Jordan with ancient olive and oak trees, more planting in the various camps. And it is a great way to relax and a great way to meditate and to think. And of course, people behind me are water skiing apparently. So if you hear some noise, sorry. But we also had a regeneration festival in Spain where hundreds of people came to participate. So we look forward to further cooperation with the Burning Man community around the world, because we think that this is exactly what needs to be done to mitigate and adapt to climate change and ensure that our children and future generations can inherit an Earth which is fully functional. So I welcome you to learn all about this. My contact information is there. My academia page is there. And we think at the ecosystem restoration camps that this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And we hope that we can work together for the rest of our lives to make the world a better place. Thank you very much.
Hey, John, thank you for being here. I love the work you guys are doing. The camps movement is so inspirational. And I know, and as you and I have already talked, you know, I have this dream of getting more of these Burning Man events and these Burning Man regional events to get hooked up with these ecosystem restoration camps, so we can see what that really interesting collaboration between our two communities can be.
I think that actually we're all together. We are a meta organism. So humanity is a meta organism, and we're not simply individuals, and we have to work together. We're just learning how to do that now.